You ever stood in front of your closet full of clothes and thought, I've got nothing to wear? You have shirts from last year's clearance sale. You got jeans that was trendy 2 weeks ago. You got some sort of outfit that you bought on emergency impulse that you actually never wore. Fast fashion has tricked us into thinking that we need more when we really just need better. And the craziest part is the clothes that we're buying today are literally designed to fall apart, which forces us to buy more. It's like a subscription for your clothes and you didn't even sign up. You know what I'm saying? So anybody want to stream these fits? So today we are breaking down how fast fashion became a scam and why it's hurting consumers and the planet, and what we can do to escape the cycle of disposable clothes. Peace and blessings. What's good? This is your boy 7 Inglewood's on right now in your zone, and this is another episode of The Blackman Show presents Society Breakdown. And today we are answering 3 big questions for y'all. How did fashion go from durable to disposable? Who actually pays the price for fast fashion, including our health? And how can we break free from the trap and shop smarter? So, quick setup. Fashion, the clothes, the things you wear, it used to be built to last because people knew that they wanted to wear something that was good. They didn't have a lot of money, didn't have a lot of time to shop because they had to get to work. And a lot of people just needed to get something that was going to look nice so they can get to work. Clothes were made with real materials. They had cotton, wool, leather. That's what you had. You were working with the real stuff back then. And then you had a whole industry that was created of people who were repairing, tailoring clothes, and then you could take those clothes and pass them down. Like when I was a shorty, I had clothes from my older brothers. Like, I don't know if, and don't get me wrong, my son has clothes that he wears today that he's able to pass down to his cousins and things, but it doesn't seem to ring the same because, first of all, he's less than 2 years old. So it's not like he's out there wearing and tearing the clothes. But I think once he gets into if he were a fast fashion kid and he was having to wear that clothing outside and go play and all that stuff, I don't know how much of that clothing would actually make it to his cousins. You know what I'm saying? Once he outgrows them, I don't know. But with fast fashion, everything has changed. You got brands like Zara, Shein. All right. Sup, Shein. You got H&M, and then you got Fashion Nova, everybody's favorite, right? But they all normalize cheap, trendy, mass-produced clothing. And now the average American buys 60% more clothes than in the 1990s. But they keep them half as long. And so how did fashion go from durable to disposable? In the past, fashion was seasonal, right? You had a few collections that would drop a year. Just a few. You'd have, still have some fashion shows here and there showing off the new wares and things, but still, that would be a few times a year. But now, Shein alone, they drop over 6,000 new styles a day. Yeah, a day. Clothes are made quickly, cheaply, and offer very low quality synthetic materials that break down hella quick. For them, it's more profitable because they can sell you junk and they can crank that stuff out at a high ass rate. So brands can save money by using cheap labor and low quality materials, and they profit more when you rebuy items every few months instead of owning durable clothing. For example, right? You can get you a Shein dress. You can get a Shein dress for $20, right? That's gonna last you about 2 washes before falling apart. Whereas you can get a real dress made with good materials today. They still make those that might cost you $100, but it'll last you years. Okay, quick story. I remember when I lived in Chicago, and back in the 80s, my parents took me to this place called Jewtown. Wait, can I? I don't know if I can say it. Can I say that? I hope that's not offensive, but that's what they call it. We had Chinatown too, so why would Chinatown's not offensive, but Jewtown is? I don't know. So we had a place called Jewtown, and now you could also do a lot of negotiating, which they would call Jewing down. Maybe that I don't know if that's offensive or not, but they would do that. But basically, you can go in there to get like any outfit that you saw somewhere. You can go to Jewtown to get it made or to get it already because they already had a version of it there. The running joke though, when it came to clothes that you would get from Jewtown was, okay, now don't wash it or don't put it in the washing machine. That's what everybody would say. Wash it by hand. Whatever you get, wash it by hand, but don't put it in the washing machine. And I definitely recall times when people would get outfits from Jewtown and then they would go down to they wear it once or twice, and then they would take that stuff to the dry cleaners, taking their short set that they bought and take it to the dry cleaners in order to keep it because they just wanted to keep that look and hope that the colors wouldn't fade. Because trust, if you put that thing into the washing machine, it was real. You was losing it. You were losing, like the threads would come out, the colors would fade. It was bad business back then. And so you could lose your investment, your clothing investment, I guess you could say, in a matter of minutes if you were to get something from that area. I won't say it again. From that area, and then take it home and, wear it once and put it into the washing machine. You didn't do that then. And that's basically what we have now, but on a massive scale, on a global scale. Everywhere. Now, who actually pays the price for fast fashion? Now, we as Americans, at least, we're spending more on clothes overall, even though the clothing is cheaper, but it's made with low quality materials that can lead to skin irritation, sweating, and other types of discomfort. And the clothes fall apart quickly, which forces us to rebuy them. And this is just for the consumers. Like, as far as the workers who are working there creating the stuff, most fast fashion is made in Bangladesh, India, and China, right? Where the workers are paid as little as $3 a day. And some factories use forced labor or child labor to keep prices low. I mean, we know or have seen that be the truth with some other brands that we know of, like Nike. And so there was an event that took place in 2013, the Rana Plaza disaster. That's what it was called, where over 1,100 people were killed when a Bangladesh factory collapsed due to some of those unsafe conditions that they were making your cheap ass clothes in. And not to be outdone, your health is also at risk when you buy these things. This is also what you're paying as you buy these clothes. I mean, because fast fashion isn't just bad for the planet, it's bad for you. You got cheap synthetic fabrics like polyester, rayon, acrylic, and nylon that contain toxic chemicals that can seep into your skin. Formaldehyde, which they use to keep the wrinkles out of your cheap clothing, but that's also been linked to skin irritation and cancer. And then you got heavy metal dyes in cheap clothing that can cause rashes, allergic reactions, and hormone disruption. Not to mention microplastics that are shed from synthetic fibers that can get into the water supply and can end up in your bloodstream. We've heard tons and tons and tons about how there's nobody on the planet likely who doesn't have some amount of microplastics in their body already. This is just adding to that. Quick question. Did y'all know that fast fashion can actually harm your health? I mean, because I've seen people who've had, some itchy points. They put on something new and they're like, oh, this feels different. Have any of you all had an allergic reaction or something like that from cheap clothes? Let me know in those comments. Now, if you were to ask me, how do we get out of the trap, Seven, so we can shop smarter? We want to be good Americans and good citizens to get our clothes. like if you want to do that seriously, just buy less but buy better. Instead of getting 10 shirts, right? You don't get 10 cheap shirts when you can get 2 quality ones that are gonna last you longer than an election cycle. I saw the story not too long ago where a family had this running joke where they had this old pair of jeans that came from like the great grandfather or something like that. They just found in a chest or a trunk of some sort. So every so many years or something, they would just pass this trunk with the pants in it and with the jeans in it down to another member of the family. But nobody ever put the jeans on because they were great grandfather's jeans, right? Then like in 2020, one of the family members who received the jeans decided, instead of passing the jeans on, hey, these jeans haven't been worn, nobody's touched them, they still look good. They are Levi's jeans. They still have the Levi's tag on them. They were in pristine condition, to be quite honest, and they didn't have belt loops, and they didn't have back pockets on them, right? But these were Levi jeans, and he said, you know what? Let me go and get these jeans appraised just to go see. Went to the Levi's company, and Levi's said, oh my goodness, we've never seen a pair. These jeans were 120 years old. And they were like, we haven't seen a pair of jeans this great in this good a condition. These have to be worth somewhere around $50,000. And they actually offered to buy them from him. Now, the guy didn't sell them to Levi's. He actually ended up selling them for $100,000 to a gentleman in China. But still, do you think anything from Shein is going to go for $100,000 ever? I mean, like, is anybody making clothing today that you think would go for $100,000 later on down the road? That isn't, I don't know, made with gold, like 24 karat gold thread or has some sort of diamonds encrusted into it or something like that, or is the emperor's new clothes? You know, like, do you think that somebody will make something today that 120 years from now will be worth, like, that'll have that sort of worth, or have that sort of, or would even last that long? I don't know, but I digress. Sorry about that. Another way we could get out of the cycle is to go to thrift stores, swap shops, upcycle stores. Listen, when I was growing up, I have no problem with saying this, that my mother took me to the thrift store. That was like one of our favorite things to do as mother and son on Saturdays. Just go to the thrift store and just go hang out. And then after that, we go to Kmart and get some nachos with jalapenos. And that was weird because my mother didn't like spicy food, but she did like her nachos with jalapenos. And we get a cherry icy, a extra large cherry icy. And we shared that on the way home. That was like our thing. Anyway, but yeah, so we go to the thrift store. We go to several thrift stores, and I think people should do that. They like, secondhand fashion is growing. Buying used reduces waste and it saves money. Clothing swaps and repair cafes help to extend the life of clothes. Now, you may not find the industry that once was established of the tailors and people who will fix your clothes and all that. They may be a little bit more scant, but there are still a few tailors out there who can help out and get your clothes back on point. Maybe you got a grandmother, a mother, or a family member who still knows how to sew by hand. Oh man, listen, I'm just saying, make it that there's a good way to make, there are ways to make your clothing last, at least the good stuff. Another thing you can do is check for fabric labels and avoid harmful materials. Like, stick to organic cotton, wool, linen, which I think is cotton, and bamboo fabrics. Avoid polyester and any of those synthetic blends whenever possible, because you never know what they could do to your skin, to your body, to your overall health. And make sure that you wash new clothes before you wear them, because you never know what sort of chemicals or you don't know what's on it. And that's whether it comes from a thrift store, Target, or Neiman Marcus. Just make sure that you wash your items and get them thoroughly cleaned before you put them on. Because there is the opportunity, or there is a chance that they could have some sort of trace chemicals or something like that on them. And you just want to keep you and your family safe. So some of the takeaways today would be that fast fashion is designed to make you keep rebuying instead of owning quality clothes. The industry exploits workers, destroys the environment, and can potentially harm your health. So shopping smarter doesn't mean spending more. It just means being more intentional with what you buy. Don't just buy because it's out there and because your eyes are on it. Some of the actionable steps you can take are to check fabric tags. Avoid the cheap synthetics, choose quality over quantity, and thrift, swap, and repair before you just say, I have to have that new. You ain't got to have that new booty all the time. I just wonder, like, is this model even sustainable? Because, like, if we don't change our buying habits, what do you think the future of clothing purchasing is going to even look like? Is that where the dystopian movies start? The dystopian movies that we've seen in the past start to come into effect, where everybody's just wearing a onesie, just gray and dark, and we just walk around in that all day, and we got our heads down, and we're just doing this thing like in the 1984 commercial. I know it's way before y'all time, whatever. But you know what I'm talking about, some of y'all. But seriously, like, what do you think the future of fashion, or the future of shopping for fashion, is going to look like maybe 10, 15 years from now. I'd love to know your thoughts. But I'll just say that the fast fashion industry isn't built for our benefit, right? It's built for corporate profit. I keep telling you, especially in these episodes, that there are things that are being put into place to keep you continually buying, whatever it is, whether it's subscriptions, whether it's land, whether it's your home, whether it's your vehicle. You're going to keep buying. That's the model that's being put into place throughout the nation as well as throughout the globe. But by making small changes in how we shop, we can break the cycle and demand better. It's possible. It may be on small scales, but it definitely is possible. And hey, you could just stop shopping there and they won't be in business if you don't buy it. That works too. I'll just ask you, how often do you shop for your clothes? Do you think fast fashion is necessary, or is there a better way? And what's the longest lasting piece of clothing that you own? I've got like two pairs of I got one pair of jeans still that I have from high school that I can still wear, because I was, when you're smaller, you at least in the 90s, that's when I was in high school. So when you're in the 90s, you wore big clothes, wore big baggy clothes, and now it fits. So I'm still good on that front. But I would love to know, like, what is the longest lasting piece of clothing that you have right now? So I'd love to compare, see if mine is older than yours. But anyway, that is it for today. Y'all be safe. Y'all be smart out there. This has been another episode of The Blackman Show presents Society Breakdown. And this has been your boy 7. Again, y'all take care of each other. Love y'all. Peace. And I'm out.